right. Well, welcome everybody to the Elite Marketing Pro Monday Mojo. This is all about marketing and fun. My name is Chef Katrina, and I am the affiliate and community manager for Elite Marketing Pro. And I am super excited about our guest speaker tonight. Tyson Zahner has been an affiliate of Elite Marketing Pro for, I think, almost 3 years now, if I'm not mistaken. I watched him kind of sneak attack in this industry. He started off pretty quiet in the background and all of a sudden exploded on the stage using some pretty cool tactics along the way. But what he's going to be sharing with us today is so crucial to the growth of your business. And really what Tyson was able to accomplish was doing only one or two little tweaks that majority of marketers, affiliate marketers, and business owners just don't take the time to put into place. And this is what really made him stand out and achieve extraordinary results in such a short period of time. So I'm super excited to have him on here with us. And Tyson, for those that may not know you, which I find very hard to believe, can you just introduce yourself to the community, a little bit about you and how you got started in this industry?
Sure, absolutely. So hello, everyone. That's awesome that you guys are on here. There's a lot of other things you could be doing on this Monday night, and the fact that you are here investing in yourself says a lot about you. So that's awesome that you're here. Yeah, my name is Tyson Zahner, and I'm a proud member of Elite Marketing Pro, online marketer. I actually got involved online, just in general, online back in about 2013. My story, the short version is basically that I was a frustrated network marketer. Many of you, I'm sure, can probably relate to that. Maybe some of you got to Elite Marketing Pro because you have a similar story. I had been in multiple different network marketing companies over a period of probably 18 years. I got involved in my first company way back when I was like 17 years old, and was in and out of companies over the years and just never could quite make it. And I couldn't recruit anybody. It just wouldn't work for me. So finally, I just went online and I said, there's got to be, a better way. And I found basically, I found Elite Marketing Pro and got plugged in there. And gosh, as they say, the rest is history. Inside of my MLM company, I recruited over 1,000 people in about a 12-month period. During that same 12-month period, went on to become the #1 income earner inside of Elite Marketing Pro. And I'm just honored to now be able to, speak on stages and share the stages with people who I idolized. So that's the short version of my story.
Yeah, so when I brought you on here, I was like, what has changed for you? What has been some of your growth, some of your experience? Because, you've transitioned so much from when we first met a couple of years ago and just watching you just kind of explode in the world of affiliate marketing. And then I watched you take on the world of network marketing again, and you did extraordinarily well. And, you said the two biggest shifts for you were focusing on targeting the right prospects and investing in your education and skill set.
Yeah, well, when I look back, hindsight's always 20/20. When I look back at why I failed, one of the biggest reasons was that I was always looking for something outside of myself. I was always looking for a better compensation plan, a better upline trainer. I was looking for maybe this company's not the right company. Maybe the product's too saturated in my area. I was always blaming it on all of these factors outside of me. And now that I've had success, what I realize is I never took the time to develop the skills necessary to create success. Really what, some of you, maybe you're out there going, what are those skills? Well, the short version is you have to be able to find prospects. And I would say, more importantly, you need to be able to find qualified, high quality and qualified prospects. And then you need to know how to convert. Those are the two biggest things you need to do in order to have success really in any business. You got to be able to find people. And I always just thought, man, if I've got a good product and I talk to enough people, certainly that'll be enough to get them involved in my business. And it never was. So once I started, Fernie shared a little while back I believe it was a chapter out of, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Is it Costagara? Out of his book, there was a chapter that he shared about the 3 Qs, and I thought it was so good. He talks about basically there's 3 Qs or 3 different groups of people that you can talk to about your business. There's quantity, like, hey, let me just talk to as many people as I can. There's quality, which is like, okay, these are people who are high quality prospects. And then there's qualified, people who are either already looking for what you have to offer. They have a history of buying what you're offering in the past. And once I quit targeting quantity and trying to go after everybody, and I started learning how to target quality and qualified prospects, that really made all the difference in the world for me. And of course, in order to do that, I had to develop my set of skills. I had to learn how to drive traffic. I had to learn how to provide value to that audience in order to convert them into leads and into sales. So I hope that kind of answers. I don't even know if you specifically asked the question. Maybe I just jumped ahead and I should have said anything. I should have waited for the question mark there.
No, I think you kind of nailed on the head. I think everybody starts off, especially as a network marketer, we always go after, quantity. Like we're always like told to like just pick your list, go after everybody, and it's just like, beat everybody over the head. So it really does require going after a specific who's actually interested in building a business. Like that's right. The reality of that kind of comes down to that. So when I asked you kind of like, what was it, how do you find the right customers that don't quit? Because you talk about finding quality customers. So how do you find them? And, I've watched you set up some incredible funnels, and I've gone through some of your webinars and your emails. So how do you find the qualified prospect?
Good question. So it depends, first of all, on who you're wanting to attract. So let's just say, for example, that you were in a network marketing company. Everybody uses health. So let me use something different. Let's say you were in travel, okay? Let's say you were in a travel network marketing company. Step 1 is, let me determine, do I want to attract people for my travel product, or do I want to attract people for my business opportunity? Because I also want them to build the business, and I want other distributors underneath me. And first thing you have to understand is you have to build separate funnels for both audiences. They require a different message. Just because somebody is interested in travel, or fill in the blank, whatever your thing is, health and wellness, energy, whatever, it doesn't mean that they're also interested in building a business. And there's nothing wrong with leading with your product, right? But so when it came to wanting to attract distributors, so first of all, if I were going to attract targeted, high quality, qualified prospects for travel, for a travel product, I would look at, okay, what people are already traveling? What kind of things would those people be searching for on the internet? They might be looking for, best places to take my family on summer vacation. And maybe I could give them tips on, here's some places we've gone. We liked this location. We liked this location. Here's why you might look at taking your family to those specific locations if you're looking to do a family vacation. Oh, and by the way, if you'd like to know how you can potentially save money on your next vacation, click the link below, and I'll be happy to show you a travel club that might be a fit for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's one way that you can do that. That would be a quality prospect. Another one would be somebody who's qualified. In other words, they have a history of traveling and buying travel products. So maybe I might target people who are existing timeshare owners, and I might say, would you like to know how you can eliminate your timeshare maintenance fees and have other people pay your maintenance fees for you? And then maybe I share with them websites where they can rent out their timeshare, utilize that money to pay off their maintenance fees, and then use that money that they pocket on other things. They're to go to maybe do a travel club, or to use it on their on, let's say, their next flight or their hotel room or whatever, right? Those are going to be qualified prospects because they have a history of buying travel products in the past, right? So now let's use that exact same scenario with business representatives. If we want to attract distributors to us, well, going out and just talking to my grandma, might she be interested in making extra money? I guess she might be, but I don't want to have to sift through all of these people in order to determine whether my grandma, my mom, my sister, my colleagues at work, I don't want to have to sift through those people to determine whether or not they're a fit and they'd like to have a business. If they bring it up and they're interested, great, I'll talk to them about it. But it's not something that I'm going to go badgering them with. So here's what I have found. Some of the best distributors are people who already know what it takes to be an entrepreneur. They're people who are they either are existing business owners, they are existing sales professionals, because people like real estate agents, they understand, I don't sell a home, I don't get paid. Insurance salesmen, they understand, I don't move a policy, I don't get paid, right? Or existing business owners, small business owners, home business entrepreneurs, not necessarily in network marketing, just in general. Excuse me. Those people they already understand, look, if I understand as a photography business owner that the sky is the limit in terms of I can make as much money as I want to make, as much time as I can shoot sessions in a day, but I have to actually go out and find prospects. If I don't find people to come into my photography studio, I don't make money. And so because I realized that existing business owners, existing sales professionals are high quality prospects, they're going to have, like I said, it's not that my grandma can't learn how to build a business, but if she's never done it before and she doesn't have the mindset in place and she doesn't have any of there's just a bigger learning curve with grandma than there is with, the real estate agent who's been successful and he's invested in his education. He's gone to real estate seminars and he's just looking for another way to expand outside of what he's already doing and bring in existing income. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys.
Yes.
So that is a high quality prospect. Now, what's a qualified prospect? Qualified are existing network marketers, right? Existing maybe affiliate marketers. So if they're people who are let's say I wanted to bring in people to Elite Marketing Pro, maybe they're out there already marketing on ClickBank. Well, these are people who believe in affiliate marketing. So I might say, hey, look, you're only getting paid 30-40% over at ClickBank. If you join a program like Elite Marketing Pro and you decide to become a VIP, you can earn up to 90%, which can help you to make much higher commissions than what you're making on all of these other products and maybe these launches that you're doing, and you can build a list at a much higher profit rate. So by talking to those people who have already qualified themselves as being interested, same thing with network marketers. I can say, look, you're already in a network marketing business. How about I show you some ways that you can find more leads or generate more traffic for your business? So those are the two main groups of people that I would target, right? Those are the two. And by the way, I'm not saying anything bad about, for example, I just promoted a launch of, a couple weeks ago, and I made 50% commissions. I made a great return on that, right? So I'm not saying you shouldn't promote other things at all. And I'm not saying ClickBank is bad. I promote ClickBank products. I promote JVZoo products. But if I can show those people other things that they might also be able to promote at higher commissions, those are going to be a high quality prospect. Same thing with network marketers. Somebody who's already in the business, they may or may not be interested in switching right now. But if I can build a relationship with those people, get them to trust me, at some point when maybe things go sour with their business, maybe something happens in their business like, what happened with, what was the name of the company a while
Herbalife?
back?
No,
What was it?
not Herbalife.
No, not Herbalife. Anyway, the company that had the big FTC problem, and a lot of those people ended up leaving that company because they were like, Vima, thank you, Dagmar, because they were like, I don't know if I want to stick around here. We've got a lot of problems. My team is starting to question things. You just never know when things are going to happen. Maybe a company changes its comp plan and they're like, all right, I need to change and go do something else. Even if they're not ready to join now, I want to be building those relationships so I have a constant pipeline of people who trust me, and I want quality and qualified people in that pipeline. So that was kind of a long answer to the question. I hope that it suffices, though, and it makes sense to everybody.
It made perfect sense to me. It made it so much sense, though, that Fernie says we have a new target market. It's called Grandmas with Business Experience. So
Right. Right. You can actually find them on Facebook. You target Knitting Club of the Month is actually how you target those folks on Facebook. So
or quilting. Quilting's a good one, too.
Yeah, the Quilting Digest, I believe.
Yeah. The Quilters Guild or something like that.
Right.
Good ones out there. So he's like, we're not kidding. So you also talked about people quit this industry fairly quickly. Most of the time they don't stay with it very long. I would say probably about 90 days is the typical invested time that a network marketer comes into it and then just leaves this industry. And I think it tied into kind of what you were saying about, finding people that are already in it, understand it, instead of having that long learning curve of bringing somebody in that's brand spanking new, that's never experienced that, because they're on that emotional high, which has a tendency to crash.
Right, exactly.
So what is this? So, because you said the real reason most business owners quit in the first few months, and you said it's not what you think.
Yeah.
So what's really going on there, Mr. Tyson?
So I'll tell you. Let me just ask, and I'm going to ask for a little bit of engagement here and some comments back as I ask this question. How many of you guys who think, I want you to think whether it's the job you're currently in or any job or career that you've ever had in your life that you've had for more than a year, okay? You were involved in, for let's say two years or more. Somebody just shout out something that you like. I was a teacher, for example. That was my first career. I was a music teacher. Katrina was a chef, okay? Real estate. Betsy was in finance, a waitress, purchasing, rocket scientist, Bernie, brilliant man, office manager, accounting, human resources, loan processor, dental hygienist. Very good. So let me ask this. Would you say that your second year in that job, that you were better than your first year in that job? Were you better your second year in that job than your first year? Okay. Now, I'm seeing yep, yes, much better. Thank you, Ronald. So that actually brings me to my next question, which is this. How much better would you say you were? Like, are we talking infinitely better, a little bit better your second year? If you compared your first year in your career to your second year, would you say that you got a lot better your second year, a little bit better, little better? I'm seeing little. Ronald said much, a lot better. Yes. Okay. So some are saying a little. Maybe that depends a little bit on the field that you were in. Sonia said a lot. Made $1 Million Club. That's awesome, Sonia.
Wow.
So let me just tell you my story. I was a music teacher, got out of college when I was, 22, and went straight into the public school system as a public school music teacher. Got my ass handed to me by 5th and 6th graders. Didn't know how to control the classroom, didn't know how to discipline, I was a good musician and I could teach the kids music, but when it came to knowing what to do in the classroom. Now, here's what's interesting. I spent 4 years in school studying, trying to learn every little thing I should do. I thought I was so prepared, and when I got into the actual field to do it, I realized I didn't know shit. Pardon my French. I didn't know anything. I realized I was way out of my league, and it forced me to learn really, really quickly. Now, here's what's interesting. What happened was I was forced to get better. Why? Because I had spent 4 years in college. I had spent tens of thousands of dollars on my education. Was I going to just quit? Was I just going to be like, all right, this is really hard, I'm out of here? No, I had a whole lot of skin in the game, right? So I was invested to make it work. But you know what? My second year, I was so much better. I remember before I went back for that second year, I had a game plan that if a kid says this, here's the consequences. I laid out the rules the first day. I was a much better teacher my second year. And then I went on to do a lot of really great things in the field of education over a period of 11 years because I was forced to get better in that first year. So the reason why I believe so many people quit in home business is, I've heard Ray Higdon say before, what's easy to do is easy not to do. It's easy to get in. It's easy to get out. One of the best things about this industry is the low cost of getting started. One of the worst things is the low cost of getting started, because the real reason why most people don't make it is because they're too comfortable. They have too many options. If you look at the people who have made it, the people who've really found success, a lot of them had their back against the wall. You look at Ray's story. He was in personal foreclosure. He was going to lose everything. It was do or die. I got to make it work. He wasn't comfortable where he could fall back on something else. I've got a good friend locally here who's involved in network marketing, and she was just kind of dilly-dallying around. She was in a company that does scented candles, and she was, just doing okay, but kind of struggling with it. And all of a sudden, her husband lost his job at Saberliner, and she shot up the ranks in her company. Why? Because she was like, I don't have another choice. I've got to make this work. And so I believe the real reason why most people don't make it is too much comfort, too many options. And I'm not saying that I wish ill upon you. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is if you have a lot of options, if you're like, you know what, I've got a good job, I've got a pretty good salary, I don't have to make this work, I want you to realize that is your biggest enemy. That is the biggest thing that's going to stop you from having success. And then let me say one other thing. If you are stuck in learning mode, it's like those 4 years that I went through college. I thought I was so prepared, and then I went out into the classroom, got my ass handed to me, and I learned more in my first year of teaching than I did in 4 years of college by simply getting out there and doing it. So every time you learn something, I get it. You're going to think, I'm not ready. I don't know if I'm ready to run my first traffic campaign. I don't know if I'm ready to call a lead yet. I don't know if I'm ready to do my first webinar. You're never going to be ready. It's kind of like having kids. My wife and I are like, are we ready? No, we're not ready, but we'll figure it out, right? Once the kids showed up, we started learning how to be a parent. We learned on the job, and we got better and better and better. And we still screw up. I screw up in my business. I screw up as a parent. I was never ready, but I figured it out along the way. So I urge you, if you're not taking action, every time you learn something that you think might be good for your business, do it. Take action on it. Run a traffic campaign and then learn, all right, that didn't work, or it kind of worked. Let's figure out why it didn't or why it did, and let's start tweaking and changing. So I hope that helps. And I'll give another, if it segues into it, I'll give you guys another little tip about how to learn really, really quickly when it comes to driving traffic here in just a minute. But I'll throw this back over to Katrina for a minute, see if she's got any thoughts on what I just said.
Yeah, I'll give a minute to get yourself a drink of water. Yeah, I have to say for me, I had it very similar like that. It was too easy. I had a chef job. I was a sous chef. I worked for a great company. Everything was in place. There was no pain. And I realized that even after losing the restaurant, losing my house, losing everything, there still was the job there. There still wasn't enough to say, this is something I can do, right? There's nothing to push me to the next level. So I had to cut the tie, and I did it very dramatically. And I was like, all right, I said, I'm cutting the tie. I'm leaving. I'm cutting off myself financially from having something to fall back on. And my philosophy is I'm going to make this work, or I'm going to make this work.
Yeah.
Right? Those were my two choices. There was no fallback option. There was no going back, but the tail between the legs and asking for my job back. There was none of that. It was either going to work or it was going to work. So whatever that looked like to make it happen is what had to happen. So, and I get that. So, because Aisha asked, why does it have to be that way? It's because it's too easy to fall back to something that's there. It's too easy to go, well, the check's coming in the mail, or it's too easy just to settle, right? We have a tendency to be very resigned in our life. And so we settle for things instead of reaching for the stars, because it's easier just to be comfortable than to stretch yourself and get really uncomfortable and make those mistakes, like you say. And do a lot of failing, because it's constant failing. It's in even the email. Are you willing enough are you capable of failing enough to achieve success? And that's really the process. It's like, you're going to have to fail. You're going to have to suck.
Yep. The people I'll have people ask me a lot. They'll say, what is your secret to success? How did you succeed so quickly? And my answer has always been, I failed faster than everybody else. I failed faster than everybody else. And let me just make a quick clarification, because I don't want you to think that me or Katrina, that what we're suggesting is quit your job so you don't have a fallback. That's not what I'm saying at all. In fact, whenever I did quit my job, what I did, my last year of teaching was in 2010. I probably could have quit a year earlier because my business was going well. I could have quit a year earlier, and my wife and I, we decided to play it safe. I worked one more year, and what we did was we put every check I got from the school system in a separate account, and we tried to live only off of the business income to see if we could do it. And that way, when I did quit, we had a cushion. If things went wrong or things went haywire, we had a cushion. So not only did I prove to myself that I could do it, that I could live off of my business income only, I also created kind of a nest egg there just in case. So we're not saying quit your job. We're not saying hit rock bottom. That's not what we're saying at all. What I am saying, however, is, can you mentally make the shift to say, I'm not going to let myself turn around and go back to the thing that's comfortable. I'm not going to let myself make excuses. Can you put some sort of contingency in place to where you have some sort of accountability to make it happen? Let me just give you an example of how I did this. When I wanted to create my first course, I was so scared to do it. Like my own branded to Tyson, his own training course that people would buy from me. I was totally scared to do it. And I had this good income coming in from Elite Marketing Pro. And I was like, I don't know, it's easier to keep promoting Elite Marketing Pro stuff. And I don't know if anybody would really buy my stuff because their stuff is already so good. I kept making excuses, and I said, I've got to do it. And if I don't give myself a point of no return to where I can't turn back, there has to be some consequence that if I don't do this, if I say I'm going to do it and I don't do it, there's a consequence. What can I make that consequence be that is so compelling, at least for me, that I'll do it? And for me, I don't want to make a promise to other people and then renege on that promise. I don't want to let other people down. So here's what I did. I sold the course before it was created. I basically said, hey, look, if you come into Elite Marketing Pro at the VIP level with me, I did this in late 2014, I believe. And I said, look, you come into Elite Marketing Pro at the VIP level with me. I am going to create a 4-week course for you that's going to walk you through everything you need to know. This, how to drive traffic, how to generate leads, how to do follow-up emails. I'm going to show you step by step. I had an outline. I knew what I was going to talk about. So there was some structure, but I didn't have anything created. And I had all of these people. I probably had about 40 people that signed up for VIP in 1 month, all because I made this promise that I was going to do it. There was no turning back after that. That was my motivation to get it done. And once I did it, it was so much easier. And now I've created lots of my own products. It's not hard anymore. But whatever your goal is, I don't know how you're going to find that point of no return for you, what your accountability level is going to be. You don't have to hit rock bottom, but you do have to find something that's not going to allow you to go back to what's comfortable. So I hope that helps you guys.
Yeah. And I will say, guys, when I quit the job, I had a lot of elements in place too. Like I had my blog in place. I had done some video coaching. Like I had a lot of things that I made sure were in place so that when I did walk away, I was in a position where I'd had all the basic fundamentals that I needed to run a business. I looked at like the assets that I had and said, can I successfully use the assets I have and build a business? And the answer was yes. And that's what allowed me to make that transition. So it wasn't like I just walked away from it and had no experience. There was definitely some pre-planning in there to make that move. So there was definitely some conscious thought around that. So that reads, and I guess it kind of does lead into, because we talked a little bit about Elite Marketing Pro and your lead into it. So you talk about why you like expensive products. You said you definitely invest in yourself and your education. So why is that so important to you?
Yeah. So I frequently get emails. When I sell my products, I'll get emails from people that'll say, oh, this is too expensive, or I can't afford it. And, I think it was Ray, I heard him talk at MLSP recently, and he said something that was so good. He said, one person's reason why they can't is another person's reason why they must. And I hear people say things like, you know what, I can't start a home business because I don't have any time. One person will use it as their excuse why they can't, and the other person will go, oh my God, I never get to see my kids. The fact that I hate my job and I don't have time to myself to do what I want. I got a boss telling me what to do all the time. That's why I have to start a home business, why I have to get involved and make this work. Same thing is true for the money thing. For every person that says, I can't get started because I don't have the money, or because I don't, I'm broke, I can't afford it. Another person will say, you know what? The fact that I don't want to keep saying I can't afford it for the rest of my life is the reason why I have to get started. The fact that I always read the menu from right to left, that I look at the price before I look at the product, because I don't want to get a product that I can't afford. I don't want to look at the filet mignon and go, man, I wish I could have that. I'm so sick and tired of not being able to afford the things that I want in my life. That's why I have to find the means for this. That's why I have to come up with the money. And I'm not saying, and I never tell people, look, go into debt I don't say do something irresponsible. You have to do what's right for you, but I'll just tell you a couple of things. Number one, I bought products on credit whenever I was first starting because I didn't have the money, and that debt was my motivation to succeed. That debt was all right, I've got a credit card bill that's due in 30 days. And if I don't pay it off in 90 days, here's how much that's going to cost me in interest. So my timeline to pay it off is X number of days. Here's my timeline for when I'm going to get results with this thing that I've bought. It was my motivation to actually take action and do something. Now, if you're, like I said earlier, if you're the kind of person who just buys products to learn and learn and learn and never do anything, then of course it's an irresponsible decision. But for me, I knew that going into debt, I've never gotten a better return on my investment ever in anything than investing in my education, investing in my mind. I think it was Ben Franklin who says, empty the coins of your purse into your mind, and your mind will fill your purse with coins. And I've never gotten a better return. I've done paid traffic where I get $3 back for every dollar I put in. doesn't even come close to what I've gotten in terms of investing in my education. And when I hear people, a lot of, like, recently I purchased a product for, I purchased 2 products recently, $1,000 each, stuff that honestly I knew most of the stuff in the course, but there were a few little nuggets that I thought, because like, here's the difference between amateurs and pros. Amateurs, they look at a course, a product that they're going to buy, and they want it to be the be-all, end-all. Will this be the one course that makes me successful? And the pros are saying, I want that one nugget that nobody else is really going to understand. And that's really the reason why I don't mind investing in higher priced products. I bought a product not too long ago that was it was over $3,000 for a 4-week course, information course. And most people would never spend that kind of money. And I learned things inside of there that nobody else was learning. That's why I like the price, because if it was $97, I know everybody else would have been buying it, and I wouldn't have the competitive edge that I have because I learned a lot of information that not everybody else is going to know. And so, I just tell people, look, if you are afraid to invest in your education, and once again, don't be irresponsible with it, but if you are unwilling or you're afraid to invest in your education, you're going to have a hard time making it in this industry. You've always got to be learning. It's never a matter of when do I stop investing in myself. I probably have spent more this year on my education than I did my first year. And you're like, why would you do that? You've already had so much success. It's because I want to get to the next level. If I'm not growing, I feel like I'm dying, and I've got to be moving it to the next level.
Yeah. You actually have to feed yourself in order to help bring people with you. Because at that point, you've got to grow so that you can provide more value, right? It's all about, if you want to bring more value to the table, if you want to help more people, you've got to invest in you so that you can continue to bring that value. Because if you stop growing, so does your business, is the reality behind that.
Guys, here's the secret to getting people to pay you. People will pay you based on the confidence that they have in your ability to help them. That's how much. So if you're not making a lot of money, this is hard truth, guys. If you're not making a lot of money, what it comes down to is people don't have enough confidence in you yet and your ability to help them get the results that they want. If I go to the gym and I have a personal trainer who's fat, I'm probably not going to hire him, right? And I'm not saying you have to be successful before you make money. What I am saying is you have to invest in yourself. You have to have you can't give away value until you have obtained that value yourself. And so that was really a big turning point for me whenever I realized, all right, people, the more I can convince people and make them feel confident that I can help them, the more money they'll be willing to pay me. Mm-hmm. And once I got that, there was no limit to the amount that I was willing to invest in myself, because every time I invest in myself, I'm able to give one more bit of value to my prospects that makes them more confident that I can help them. And they're like, I'm willing to give you my money because I think you are the person who can help me get to where I'm going.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, like for me, when I talk with people, it's like, so what have you learned from this? Right? Because sometimes you have to reteach what you just learned for it to really sink in. And in doing that, you elevate your ability to communicate what you just learned to somebody else, which inspires confidence in other people that you have some knowledge of what you're doing.
Right.
It's I talk about it in the kitchen all the time. Like my favorite analogy is when I bring a new person onto the hotline. So it's called the hotline in the kitchen. It's the area where we're cooking and we're throwing pans and the ovens are all working. So when I bring a new person on the line, right, typically it takes it's about a 3 days worth of training. So for 3 days, we're working with them. They've got a trainer that's showing them how to put together the plates, how to cook the food, what to expect. And then on the 4th day, they have to teach the chef
right
how to work the station. And it's not that they've mastered the station, but can they teach me what they've learned on that station? And in doing that, they actually get a little more knowledge of that station. They get a better confidence because I'm going to say, great job. That's awesome. Okay, this is where we need to fix it. And mind you, it's only been 3 days. By the 4th day, they're learning to master a station so that they're teaching it to me. So it's not about how long you've been doing it. It's really is, are you able to take what you've learned and turn around and then re-share that information out again? And if you continuously do that for, I would say, Tyson, like 90 days, honestly, I would say commit to like just a minimum of 90 days. People will come to see you as an expert in something in as little as 90 days because most people stop in like 10.
Yep.
So for me,
it's hard to push past what's painful. And those first 2 weeks, they're going to be painful. I mean, think about going on a diet. Those first 2 weeks, they're the hardest 2 weeks, and then it gets easier, right? It's the same thing whenever you start creating a daily, a daily routine that you're going to follow in your business. Those first couple of weeks are always going to be the hardest. And that's not to say it's not going to also have, bumps in the road as you go past those 2 weeks, but you've got to create a level of consistency. And whether that's, all right, hey, I'm going to start putting out free content. I'm going to start doing Facebook Live. I'm going to start doing, a podcast or even prospecting, if that's what you're doing. Nobody's saying prospecting doesn't work. It's just you've got to pick what works for you and fits your personality and go out and be consistent at it and be persistent. I saw Betsy say persistence and consistency. Yeah. Agreed, Fernie. It is a pain in the ass.
It is. It's totally a pain in the ass. I think even today, I still struggle with consistency and persistence sometimes. I mean, there's times I'm just like, okay, it's already in place. I don't want to do anything else. And I know we've had this conversation. Like you had talked about, you created a funnel and then something changed and you had to go back and actually change the funnel. You're like, for all the freaking work I put into creating that funnel, to have to go back in and edit that one segment is such a pain in the butt. You're just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Because that one little tweak can have a domino effect and you're just like,
Yeah.
And it's just as frustrating as you get higher up as it is when you just get started. Like, there's literally the same amount of frustration, I think, sometimes.
Yep.
So you've hit it on the head. So everybody, the one thing I love that you talked on is that it's just a matter of getting in there, right? And finding that you have to create the value and success first with yourself and the belief.
Right.
And that's where it all starts.
Yeah, it really does. And I'm gonna give you guys a quick little tip just to help you. And obviously, once again, everybody's got to do what's right for them and their budget and where you're at. But I'm going to tell you something that I wish I had known when I first started, because I had success fairly quickly, but I could have had success so much faster, and I could have learned what works well so much faster if I had done one thing differently. And the one thing I did different that I wish I had done differently was I relied on free traffic forever. And yeah, I got to a great income from free traffic, but it got to the point where I realized, number one, I would have learned so much faster. Let me give you a good analogy. As some of you may know, I'm a professional photographer in addition to the online thing. And I started taking pictures. I bought kind of a nice DSLR camera back in, 2005, 2006 or so. And I just started taking some pictures on the side just as a hobby. And I really wanted to learn how to take amazing pictures. Within about a year, I was really good. Like, I had people calling and saying, hey, would you take pictures of our family? I love your work. And then now I've gone on to create a pretty successful studio. My point in this whole story is this. I learned photography on a digital camera, and I learned so much faster than the folks who had preceded me years and years before who had to learn on film. Why? because I had to think about the people who shot on film. They had to shoot a picture. If they were really trying to learn, they would write down their settings. They would wait to get the film back. They would compare the picture with the settings and say, oh, okay, well, here's why that didn't work. Now I've got to go out, retweak those settings. Let's take another picture, send the film off to the lab. Let's get it back, compare it again. It was such a slow learning process. What did the digital camera give me that film did not, that allowed me to learn so much faster? Instant feedback. I took a picture. I looked at the back of the camera and go, oh, well, that lighting looks funny. Let me try something different. I tweak a few things. Boom. Okay, well, hold on. That looks better, but I think it would look cooler if the background was blurry. Let me lower my aperture setting. Boom. Ooh, that's getting closer. And within a matter of a couple of shots, I was able to tweak this thing, that thing, that thing, and I had learned so much more quickly than if I had relied on film. So I had the exact same thing happen to me with free traffic. I was putting out stuff that I was hoping Google would find my YouTube videos and get them ranked at the top of the search engines. It took forever, so I didn't have anybody find my content for a month or so after I created it. And then I didn't really know what worked and what didn't, and it wasn't scalable. Once I had a video that was doing well, I couldn't tell Google, hey, Google, would you find 1,000 more people every month to search for this keyword? No, sorry. It is what it is. Yeah. Once I learned how to do paid traffic, I was able to test small, test with $20, $30, and go, okay, that didn't quite work. Let me tweak this, and see what works better. And I was able to test, rinse, repeat, just as Betsy said. I was test it, analyze it, rinse, repeat. Do that over and over. And I learned so much faster. A lot of people are just so scared to do paid advertising because, there's that, oh, God, it's going to cost. But to me, my time is way more valuable. I would much rather not waste my time, and I'd rather buy information. So if you're not doing paid traffic, I would strongly recommend that you go through the 10-minute traffic machine. Is that the name of that course? Did I say the name of it right? It is so good, guys. It is so good. I mean, it literally walks you through exactly what you need to do to start running paid traffic. So if you're not a VIP member, you can buy that course, I think, as an a la carte. If you are a VIP, you should already have it. Highly, highly, highly recommend you go through that and start learning how to do paid traffic, because you will learn so much more quickly the skills involved in direct response marketing if you do.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right, because like when you had a video that does really well, you almost have to when you do free traffic, every time you get a lead, you're like, so where did the lead come from? Mm-hmm. And you really have no way of knowing. And you're like, how did you find me? And then you'd get like answers like, oh, I found you through this video. And I'm like, how did you search and find that video? Like, because then it was never an easy process to find out how people found you through free traffic. Right. Because it could literally be a needle in a haystack process, or it could be, it could be something that shows up. But I've literally had conversations with leads going, I have no idea how you found me. Like, oh, I saw this video and I would do a search for that video. I'm like, I have no idea how this showed up for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Sir, is it Surwa? I apologize if I
Surway.
Surway? Is that what you said? Surway?
Surwa. We just discussed this earlier before you got on. Surwa.
Did I say it right? Surwa?
Yep.
Okay.
You said it right.
So he said, how can I determine which items to tweak? It's kind of like if your television wasn't working, what would you do? You'd pick one element at a time, and you just go process of elimination, right? You'd go, okay, well, first of all, is it plugged in? All right, yeah, it's plugged in, so that's not the issue. Is the wire from the back of the satellite connected to the back of the TV? Yeah, okay, are they in the right spot? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's not it. I can cross those two things off the list. Let's try another thing. Do I have my TV turned to the right input? Oh, that's what it was, right, whatever it is. You just have to test one little thing after another. And so you look at all of the elements in your funnel. So you say, okay, well, I've got a capture page here. Am I getting enough people from my advertising to put in their name and email address on my capture page? If the answer is no, then you say, okay, well, what can I change on my capture page? Let me maybe test my headline. Maybe let me test a different offer. Let me maybe add a picture of what it is that I'm offering. Maybe instead of sending cold traffic directly to a capture page, let me test sending them to a video first where I warm them up and I pre-sell them on opting in, right? So you just try little things here and there until you start to figure, oh, well, that little change I just did, that started to make things work. So hopefully that helps for you to figure out what items to tweak. You just look at everything. What are all of the individual elements, and which ones can I start kind of crossing off and testing one piece of the pie at a time?
Yeah, great advice, Tyson. It's so much fun always to talk with you. So kind of wanted to recap what we've discussed so far. So yeah, absolutely split testing is golden. So we talked about how to attract quality customers and distributors to you and your business. We talked about the real reason that network marketers and home business owners really do quit within the first couple of months of starting the business. We talked about, why you like expensive information products, really like kind of one thing you've invested into. We talked about the biggest difference between pros and amateurs, because you mentioned that real quick. And then you also talk about, you mentioned on here, where should you spend your hard-earned dollars to guarantee the absolute best results in your investment? Did we touch upon that one?
We did. Where did I say the best ROI I've ever gotten is? Right there. Yep. That's where you should invest your hard-earned dollars, in your education. And honestly, if you're not a VIP member, and I mean, I'm not, most of you on, I don't think anybody on here is, I don't know if you're my personal referral. This isn't about a squeeze to try and get you to spend more money. I'm just saying the library of information that you get inside of EMP as a VIP member, it's just unparalleled. And your ability to get to the next level, it's going to be based on how much value you have in here, so that you can offer that value to other people or utilize that value. We're not saying you have to build the same type of audience that I'm building. You can take that value and you can use that value to create a funnel for a product. Maybe you're a real estate agent and you want more listings. There's no reason you can't take what you learn inside a 10-minute traffic formula or a 10-minute traffic machine and utilize that to get more real estate bookings, if you were in real estate, or fill in the blank. Guys, I've used what I've learned inside of Elite Marketing Pro to drive Facebook traffic for my photography business. I have brought in more high school senior clients into our studio as a result of what I've learned inside of Elite Marketing Pro. I drive Facebook ads to a blog post. I've got a blog. So for those of you who are saying, well, does this really work outside of information products? Does it really work outside of, like make money products or whatever? Yes, absolutely. Guys, direct response marketing is direct response marketing. It works for anything that you can get somebody to directly reply or respond to your advertising. And so I just ran traffic from Facebook locally. I just targeted people within about a 60-mile interest of where I live. That was something I learned how to do inside of the 10-minute traffic machine. I drove that traffic to a blog post to provide value. I said, well, okay, what do high school seniors really want out of their senior pictures? They want them to be different. They want them to be unique. So I made a blog post that said, here's, I think, 12 ways that you can make sure that your senior pictures are the most unique, eye-catching senior pictures. Make all of your friends in your high school jealous. They read the blog post. I pixel them while they're there so I can retarget them. And at the end of the blog post, I say, hey, by the way, if you'd like some more information on our studio and you'd like us to do all of this for you, feel free to go, call us, put in your name and email address, download our price list. All of those things, creating a capture page to download my price list, giving a call to action, learning how to write good copy. Those are all things that I learned how to do inside of Elite Marketing Pro, learning direct response marketing. Those skills, once you have them, the sky is the limit. You can write your own check for life. You can say, you know what? Tomorrow I'm in the mood to go promote some product on JVZoo. I've got this skill set. I'm going to start promoting it, and I can start making money now because of the skills that you develop. So I hope that helps to kind of clear up for you guys, like, how you can utilize this training for any type of business, regardless of what it is that you're promoting.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tie into that because I actually have an interesting story. I was working with a local business here, and they do princess parties, right?
Oh, cool.
So she is face characters for princesses, and she has a couple of people, and her whole premise is that she wants to create a big enough business that she employs prince and princesses and keeps, the economy going. Like, that's her big thing. So she started attending my Facebook classes, and I was literally just teaching exactly what I was getting out of the 10-minute traffic, where I was learning from, Elite Marketing Pro, the exact same strategy. Like, how do you take an ad, take it to a capture page? What is the bribe, right? What is that you're really solving the problem of by offering the service? And in 90 days, she tripled her business.
Wow.
And it's all because of basically what I learned through this system. I just allowed it, and I applied it to another business. And it showed us that this is what you need to have in place. It was in place. And there you went. So if you guys really want to know outside of this, you can help other clients and people too. Because I worked with real princesses, Fernie. I worked with Ariel and Cinderella and Belle. You should see them. They're gorgeous. But, and then we grew her business, because then we started creating tea parties, and we started creating, other events that she can do. And then she learns how to target them through Facebook ads and who she's targeting, and she just drives business. So yeah, it's amazing what you learn and how easy it is to take this to somebody else and really show them the exact formula.
Yeah, I had the exact same thing happen. I was at the golf course the other day playing around, and I actually ended up playing around to golf with the owner. He was asking what I do, and I told him I do digital marketing, and he's like, "Oh, what's that?" And so we, afterwards went into his office and started, showing him how to run some Google AdWords ads to get more, people booking more tee times for his golf course. These are all skills that I've learned because I took the time to learn direct response marketing. So I want that for you guys as well. But I think I saw Fernie say, "Don't overwhelm yourself."
Oh, yeah.
Let me just give you the last really good piece of information that I want you to walk away with tonight, and that is information overwhelm. I think it should be renamed, okay? Instead of calling it information overwhelm, it should be called information constipation. And the reason why is because you spend all your time feeding your brain information and you don't do anything with it, right? It goes in and you never utilize it, right? And what happens if you eat and you never sit down on the pot? Sorry for being crude. You're going to have toxicity inside of you, right? You're going to get constipated. You have to use what you're learning. So when people say, "God, I just want to make sure I do everything right," you're not going to. So take action. If you're going through, 10-minute traffic machine, take what you're learning, and instead of trying to learn everything in the course before you take the first piece of action, take action on what you're learning one bit at a time. It won't be perfect. Be okay with that, and recognize that you're going to learn so much faster, and you're going to have understanding. I think it was Confucius. This is one of my favorite quotes. Confucius, who said, I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. And so when you actually take in information and you do something with it, that's where the real clarity is going to come from. So every time I hear somebody that says, "Oh my God, I feel so overwhelmed," I almost always ask, "Okay, what have you done?" "Well, not much really yet. And I'm like, "Well, there's your problem." So please make sure that you are actually taking action on what you're learning. And And you guys will have so much more clarity and understanding as to how these processes work. Yes, learning's important, but doing as you learn is really the key to the puzzle. It's the piece that's missing for most people.
Yeah, absolutely agree. You have to empty the brain. You have to take it in and then dump it back out so you can put more in.
Yeah.
You've got to clear it out, guys. You have to clear it out. You're only going to hold so much knowledge in your head. So yeah, and so Fernie's making crude jokes on the side. So Tyson, if you want to read it, you're more than welcome. But
read what?
You don't want to read it. Fernie's just making some comments. Oh, X-Lax for the brain. He says it's doing X-Lax for the brain.
Excellent. Listen, I taught junior high kids for like 10 years of my career. So poop jokes are ingrained in me. It's all good. Yeah.
So Sandra says, you bet you didn't know that Confucius spoke constipation,
Information. New information tonight.
Yeah, you guys are learning so much. It's amazing how much information you're talking. So does anybody else have any other questions for Tyson? Is there anything that, having kind of gotten a glimpse of what it is to be taking action online for what he shared with you, is there anything that you're like, I just have a burning question to ask Tyson? And if you do, now is the perfect time to ask. Because after that, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to recognize our newest VIP members that joined us in Elite Marketing Pro. So I'm going to have Tyson kind of help me celebrate that with our community. For those that are watching us, we've had some great action takers that have jumped up to VIP, and I just definitely wanted to acknowledge them for that. So if you guys have no questions, because I'm not seeing a single one, you guys are all good.
That's how good you were tonight, Katrina.
I know. So did you guys find value in this? If you found value in what Tyson shared, can you just say yes? Just give him a little love. Give Tyson some love, guys. Just say yes, you found value in it. Was it helpful to you? Did it? Yeah. Did it clear things up? Awesome. So big yeses. Always love your training. So okay. Just want to make sure that this was helpful. So there's and hell yeah. So absolutely.
Good.
So much. So yeah. So again, I love having you on here, Tyson, because you always tell such great stories, but in such a way, like, you use storytelling so well. I hope you guys also paid attention to kind of how he delivered this information, because his ability to create the story, to kind of tie it all together, to make it very relatable to you, is also one of Tyson's biggest assets on how he successfully has built his business, is that he always makes it relatable and ties it into something either in his life or in somebody else's life. And I think that's really a great asset that Tyson has. And if you guys picked up on any of that, trust me, it's going to help you just elevate your game a little bit further up. So Tyson, always a pleasure having you on here.
Thank you. Thanks. My pleasure to be on. Thanks for asking me.
All right. So we are going to recognize our VIPs. So I'm going to dump this in here. It's going to look like a hog. Let's see. I could go one at a time, but we're just going to dump. Tyson equals beast mode. That's love from Fernie right there. That's love from Fernie right there. All right, so we've had quite a few. So everybody is two named, and of course, because I pulled this off my email and I dropped this on here, everything gets squished together. So we're recognizing Greg Caruso. Caruso. There's all two names. So it's all squished together, but everyone's two names. So Elizabeth Porter, Connie Suarez, Kristen Wood, Kevin Gunsman, Ethan Seidner. Mani Aurora, Cecilia Morris, Howard Schwabel. I actually like that. Schwabel,
that's fun. I like that.
I do too. Davenel Friedman?
I can go with that one.
I'm going with that one. Amar. Sorry, I added an extra A. Amar.
Abonaji.
I'm letting you go with that one.
Abonaji.
I like it.
That's what I'm going to guess it is.
I like it. And then Joan Tecula. I'm going with Joan Tecula.
Yeah, I go with Tecula. I like it.
I like Tecula. I think it sounds really cool. And then Jewel Sosby.
I'll go with Sosby.
I like Sosby. So let Tyson do it. We're having some fun with this. Bernie's like, let Tyson
call me in every Monday to read the names.
Excellent. Well, they always laugh because I always butcher them. And I said, you know what's funny is, like, my last name is Van Oudhousden. So trust me.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to know if anyone that's going to butcher, I've had it pronounced and spelled so many different ways, it's not even funny, which is why everyone calls me Chef Katrina, because it's just easier to go, hey, Chef Katrina. Because if you have to go Katrina Van Outhuizen, everyone goes Gesundheit, and then
right.
So yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Tyson, again for hanging out with us. Fernie, thank you for broadcasting this live to our Facebook page. For everybody, for all of our affiliates that have joined on here with us. And if you're brand new to watching this, if this is your first time plugging in with this and you're trying to figure out what the heck is Elite Marketing Pro and how do you join, feel free to head over to elitemarketingpro.com/mojo, where you can learn more about this amazing system and what it can do for you and your business. We look forward to having you inside the community. Again, Tyson, thank you so much for joining us this evening. This has been a lot of fun, as always. Nugget bombs galore. If you guys can do a huge favor, spread the word, share this out on Facebook, give Tyson lots of love in the community. Let him know that you guys got value from this. I would truly appreciate it. With that, Tyson, any final words for us this evening?
No, Martin asked a question directly to me. Martin, reach out to me on Facebook. Just shoot me a private message, and I'll talk to you about that there. Okay. So you should just be able to find me on Facebook. And Fernie, say my last name 3 times fast. Zahner. Is that what you wanted? Is it like Beetlejuice? Something's supposed to happen here? I'm not sure what. Oh, say Katrina's. I thought you said say my last name. No, I didn't even know how to say her last name one time, much less 3 times. Goodness.
It's okay. He doesn't know how to say it. There's actually only one person on the team that has been able to correctly say my name so far. So yeah, everybody on the team. There's only one person that's attempted and actually mastered my last name. So I have to give mad props to him. Everybody else still has the ability to butcher it, which is fun.
I don't know how to say it, but that's okay. I get people that call me Zahner all the time. Zahner. I get Zahner. It's Zahner. But
we called you Zahner in the very beginning when we were trying to figure out who you are.
It doesn't matter. I get it all the time.
Like, how the heck did he get to the top of the leaderboards? Like, does anyone talk to him? Has anyone called him? Has anyone found out what he's, how he's doing this? It's like, I have to give him a call.
Hey, what do you say to people like Jennifer who are wondering what the difference is between VIP and annual? Should they talk to their coach or?
Yeah, absolutely. Jennifer, plug in with your Ignition coach for sure. Honestly, the biggest difference is the bonus coaching that you get with VIP and access to what Tyson was talking about earlier, that leader library, which is I could be totally biased, and maybe I am, but I truly believe, Tyson, that it is the beginning university for online marketing. Like anything you really need to learn to market online, any business, any aspect, creating products, whatever you're looking for, as a VIP, you will have access to that training in the back office.
Right. And because I've had people say to me like, oh man, I would like to do it, but it's an annual fee, or it's an annual, like I pay for it and then I got to have an ongoing annual membership or after my first year. And what I look at it like is the goal is not necessarily to keep you a VIP member forever. It's to graduate you. It's for you to go through this curriculum and for you to graduate. That's kind of what I did. Now, I'm still a VIP member because I promote the system and I make an income that pays my membership easily every year. But if all you're looking to do is to learn the information so you can go off and do other things with the information you learn in that library, then you don't necessarily have to keep paying after your first year. Pay for the membership for 1 year, get access to the leaders library, and then, if you're not going to do anything with it after that, it's totally, I just don't know anywhere where you can learn every topic really that you need. Traffic, conversions, copywriting, email marketing, how to create lead capture pages, blogging, video marketing. It's all back there. Yeah. So it's definitely something that if you're not a VIP, definitely consider it. Looks like Fernie or Katrina, somebody posted the link inside the members area. So you can look at the details there.
Yeah. And, we are always updating and improving upon it. Like that's one of our commitments to having the library there. So some of it may be a little bit older, but the value content is still there. And then what we're looking at, we're always upgrading, improving, making it fresh for what's going on now. So that is something that, as Elite Marketing Pro companies that we are always investing in ourselves to continue to bring you guys better and better education. The Copywriters Guild, Fernie puts it on there. The Copywriters Guild is probably one of the most profound.
Yeah, it's really good. Most people don't ever go through it because it's not like a video course like everything else. But what's in the Copywriters Guild is like timeless information. And and Jennifer, I'll just respond to what I've seen. Like as a VIP member, every time a new course is added, I just see it in my back office as a VIP. So so I assume that that's true for everybody. Fernie or somebody can chime in. But yeah, as a VIP, you have access to the whole leaders library. And like for me, I think I got last year's recordings or I don't know if that was because I'm an acceleration member or if that was for VIP as well. But like when 10-Minute Traffic Machine came out, it wasn't available when I became a VIP, and then it just showed up in my VIP back office one day. So yeah, it's like you're paying for all the courses they've got, and future products will just show up there as well.
Yeah, acceleration members absolutely get access to every product that gets released by the Elite Marketing Pro system. So it's just one of the benefits. Acceleration, Jennifer, is the next level above VIP. That is more of the working with the inner circle of Elite Marketing Pro. So getting access to Tim Irway, Fernie Ceballos, myself, Tyson, answers questions in there. Kate McShay answers questions in there. Like the ability to really network at that level and build out funnels and see how to accelerate your business faster is really what that mentorship program is. And it's really about getting you the results you want faster. That's about the only way I can really put it. So, but yeah, a lot of fun. So again, but VIP is absolutely the first step. Getting through VIP, getting that process going in place, getting access to the VIP training that Fernie does once a month for you guys. I mean, VIP is priceless. For the investment you guys make, I know for a fact that a year of university doesn't cost that. And the value and ability to create money almost out of the gate in that first year is something you just can't get anywhere else. And that is one of the beautiful things. Yeah, Tyson created a multiple six-figure income with just VIP alone.
Yep.
Yeah, he just killed it. He just went out there and he just marketed VIP. That was his only option. He was gone. All right, Tyson. So we can usually take this thing on forever. I just want to, again, thank everybody for coming on and joining and hanging out with us. This has been an absolute pleasure. We're just past the hour by about 15 minutes. Tyson, again, amazing, amazing content. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and just being a huge value add to this community, for just sharing what you know, and just being amazing. It's been an absolute privilege to call you friend. And, I love the fact that you get to come on here, and I look forward to having you back on the Monday Mojo. And hopefully we'll see you inside the training.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Bye, guys.